Alright, 5.28. Arpaneus et unius, quae audierunt. This is definitely a qui quae quod, definitely a relative clause, but it doesn't have an antecedent, so we need to assume that it's like the things which. Ad legatos deferunt is our verb, so they deferunt the things. Quae audierunt, ad legatos. Illi, new subject, repentina re perturbati. Just describing our subject, right? This whole thing, we got a participle, and so everything between the participle and the noun it describes is its participial phrase. Those guys, perturbatid by repentina re. Anytime we have a passive thing, we just assume that our ablative is a by such and such. Etsi, although, even though, the things, subject, dk bonter, we're being dk bontered. We have an ablative with a passive, so by hoste. Nevertheless, what did those guys do, right? Nevertheless, existimabant, known negligenda existimabant, and hacre per moe bonter. Nevertheless, they were existimabanting that, right? This negligenda could easily be a negligenda essay, so they were existimabanting that these things should not be or mustn't be negligendad, right, using our passive periphrastic Carthago delenda est, except in an indirect statement, so it's a negligenda essay. They were existimabanting that these things should not be negligendad or must not be negligendad, and they were greatly per moe bonter hoc re, again, passive verb, so our ablative hoc re is going to have a fixed meaning there, or easy to assume at least. We got a quote, and since we didn't have anything neuter before it, we're going to yeah, interesting. We're going to take it, to a verb. I don't know what I'm doing here. We're going to take this quod clause all the way to a verb, and which would be erat, but we'll just take it all the way to the end of the sentence, and we're going to assume that this is a because, right? And we'll translate it as such and refine if we need to, but it's most likely a because clause since it didn't have an antecedent to be a qui quae quod relative clause. It's a pretty long causal clause here. But civitatem ignobilum accusative aeque humilum veronum suas ponte populo Romano bellum facere ausam. Ausam could easily be an ausam essay to go with the verb erat credendum. So we didn't have a subject, but we did have an erat credendum. It was scarcely to be, there's that same passive periphrastic. It was scarcely to be believed that, and then what comes before it is actually an indirect statement inside of our quote clause. Cookies are done, and we're back. Alright, so because weeks erat credendum that, and now that we're inside of this indirect statement, we're going to have an accusative subject, civitatem ignobilum aeque humilem, of the eberonum, right? That's a genitive going with my subject. There's that genitive plural. Okay. That the subject, suas ponte, ablative like we saw in the last chapter, populo Romano, or it was sub, it's dative, right? Because it's a person. Bellum facere ausam esse, had ausamed to facere bellum upon the populo Romano. Itaque, and so, ad concilium, rem deferunt, we didn't have a subject, so just object, subject, verb, and, I don't know why I highlighted that in yellow, and what else? New subject, inter eos existit, our new subject is magna controversia existit inter eos. Cool. So two independent clauses. Rem def, ad concilium rem deferunt, and magna controversia inter eos existit. Okay, Google, stop! New sentence, new subject, Lucius Aurunculeus, and complures tribuni militum. There's that genitive plural. Going with our nominative. And, genitive plurals. What goes with them? Centuriones primorum ordinum. Centurions of the first order, the first rank. It's just a technical term for what these guys were. We'll talk about that later. All those guys are our subject. Nihil temere agendum, neque ex hibernis in iusu Caesaris discedendum existimabant. So these things that come in between must be, because of existimabant, which we saw here and here, must be an indirect statement. So they were existimabanting that nothing agendum esse must be done temere, and not, right? And literally, it should not be departed ex hibernis in iusu, like by not an order, or like without the order Caesaris. More accusative. Quantas vis, however many magnas copias, etiam of Germanorum, and all this is still accusative. Sustenere posse, so this must still be like an indirect statement that quantas vis magnas copias etiam Germanorum. Posse is going to explain sustenere was able to be susteneried. Munitis hibernis, nice little ablative absolute, right? With their hibernis having been munitis, and another head verb explaining that that indirect statement right there. More accusative infinitive continuing an indirect statement. That the rem was dative of purpose, like serving as the testimonio. Quod primum hostium impetum multis ultra vulneribus illatis fortissime sustinuerant. Again, don't have an antecedent, although it could be this, but more likely it's going to be a cause. Because they had fortissime, adverb, well, I don't have a color for adverbs, right? Because they had sustinueranted fortissime, what had they sustinueranted? The primum impetum of hostium. Getting rid of that green there. With multis vulneribus illatis, ablative absolute with an adverb in the middle of it, moreover. More accusatives and infinitives, or just an infinitive, I suppose. That non premi, that they were not premied by, right, we got a passive verb, so we got a by the re frumentaria. Full stop. But again, we're going to look at this, we're going to go, we still got accusatives and infinitives. There's an accusative, conventura could easily be a conventura esse. So, meanwhile, subsidia would conventura both ex proximis hibernis and a Caesare. Okay, so we got two sources of subsidia here. Postremo, finally, we've got a question inside of an indirect statement, but you can see that it's still got the accusative and the infinitive. What was levius? Those are comparatives right there, the neuter form of the eor, eus comparative. What is, or what was levius or terpius than to what? Than to capere concilium regarding sumis rebus. Beautiful ablative absolute here with the hoste as the auctore.